Good afternoon and welcome here to the Coast to Coast Racing League on Mountain Man Media. My name is Robert Hill Jr. joining you here tonight for Thursday Night Thunder. Going to kick it off here tonight with our Dirt Car 358 Modifieds here from Lucas Oil Speedway here in Wheatland. Let's take a look at the starting grid here in heat race number 1. On the pole, it's Kurt Schatzer in the 218 alongside Brian Dickens in the 122. Row number 2, Harold Klump in the 35, Chad Lackey in the 660. Row number 3, Michael Vitale showing up as the 213 alongside Kelly Wheeler. Adam Flieger and William Watson bringing up the rear of the field as we'll get set for our first one here of the evening. Good group of cars here with us tonight as we'll get set to roll on out here in just a second. Welcome back to all of you that tuned in last week here on Coast to Coast. Thanks to Adam Flieger for stepping in for me. I was unable to be here, but looking forward to doing this one here with you tonight. Some absolutely beautiful paint schemes working their way around this racetrack here this evening. Definitely a big fan of Brian Dickens on the outside of row 1. That one is quite the shiner. Chad Lackey, a local to me up here in Canada's nation's capital of Ottawa. So cool to see Chad with us as we get set for the first of our 8-lap heat races here. Rolling through turns number 1 and 2. Down on the bottom, it's Kurt Schatzer leading the way. Brian Dickens battling back up on the high side as Harold Klump and Chad Lackey duke it out for positions number 2 and 3 as they head down the back straightaway here for the first time. Actually, the front straightaway headed down the back stretch now. Leading the way, Schatzer, Dickens, Klump, Lackey, Watson, Wheeler, Flieger, and Vitale as battle on towards the rear of the field. That was Adam Flieger on the bottom up on the high side there. Kelly Wheeler in the 11 machine, and Michael Vitale bringing up the rear of the field in the 213 as we'll jump back up to the front here, coming around to 5 to go. This time it's Schatzer leading the way over Dickens as Dickens looking for an opportunity to get on by. Not quite able to do so as of yet. Going to get the wheels down to the inside of Schatzer just about that time as Flieger going to fall back to the rear of the field. He's side by side now with Michael Vitale as Vitale trying to battle back on the bottom. He'll slide up. Gets up ahead of Adam Flieger as Chad Lackey in the 66 machine trying to work his way forward, running that inside lane down to the bottom side of Brian Dickens as they'll come around, put 3 to go this time by as the field going to navigate their way through and head for the back straightaway. Schatzer still your race leader, but here comes Chad Lackey. Lackey down on the bottom of Dickens. Dickens up on the high side. They're going to come around to popsicle sticks this time. 2 flags up, 2 laps to go for Kurt Schatzer as the field going to work their way around, coming to the white flag this time. Going to be just 4 corners to go here in heat race number 1 of Thursday Night Thunder in the Full Throttle Motorsports Dirt Modified Series here from Lucas Oil as we head towards the back straightaway for the final time. Chad Lackey trying to close in on Kurt Schatzer, but not going to be enough time. Checkered flag is out. Schatzer going to take heat race number 1. Lackey going to come home in second. Dickens third. Watson, Klump, Wheeler, Vitale, and Flieger going to round out the field. Nice quick one here as a little bit of extracurriculars after that one, but nonetheless a good opening heat race here on the evening. Of course, we will have coverage of both the 358s and the big blocks here tonight before handing it over to Adam Flieger for tonight's pro late model race as we get set for heat number 2. Scott Rayum on the pole alongside Dylan Kinsey. Row number 2, Sam Bachman alongside Billy Roberts. Row number 3, Alex Pomerleau and Barry Wallace with Gary Sigelkow and Clay Christofferson rounding out the field. Another 8 cars here in heat number 2. Scott Rayum in that Full Throttle Motorsports number 4 machine, always a strong contender no matter when or what he is driving on the racetrack, as is Sam Bachman, the 007 machine, a perennial contender here as the field going to work their way around, get set to set themselves free in this one. Riom going to be the driver in control of the pace as the pace car gets set to make that right-hand turn hard off the racetrack. As we'll come around to the green flag this time. Riom, Kinsey. Slowly working their way around. Bachman, Roberts, Pomerleau, Wallace, Sigelkow, and Christofferson rounding out the field as we're going to work our way down the front straightaway this time. It's a slow roller, but green nonetheless, as already contact with Sam Bachman. Bachman going to collect one of those tractor tires. He's going to pick up Christofferson, Sigelkow, Roberts. I believe Pomerleau also picking up a piece of that one as Dylan Kinsey and Scott Riom battle it out for the top spot. That's Kinsey up top, Riom down on the bottom as they work their way down the straightaway. Riom going to send his car deep down to the inside of that 639 as Kinsey still with the advantage up on the high side. 6 to go this time, 2 in for Dylan Kinsey. Taking a look a little bit further back. Battle potentially going to brew here for position number 4 between Alex Pomerleau and Billy Roberts as Roberts closing into the back of that 397. The Canadian driver, Alex Pomerleau, currently holding on to position number 4 as we'll jump back up to the battle for the race lead as we'll come around to the cross flags this time. Going to be 4 laps in the books, 4 laps to go for Dylan Kinsey as Scott Riom working his way up on the high side, looking to see what he can do to get up there and fight it out with the driver of that 639 machine as they'll come around this time. 3 laps to go. Kinsey doing a nice job on the exit, swiping his way up and closing off that run that Riom's going to get by using that high side that he likes so well here so far. Scotty goes back up to the high side once again, looking to get himself a little bit of bite as they're going to come around this time, put popsicle sticks in the air. 2 flags up, 2 laps to go for Dylan Kinsey. As Sam Bachman and Billy Roberts battling it out. Alex Pomerleau and Barry Wallace also digging for position a little bit further back as we've got the white flag in the air. 1 lap to go this time. Dylan Kinsey, Scott Riom, Alex Pomerleau, your top 3 as they head down the back straightaway for the final time, working their way through turns number 3 and 4 and coming to put the checkered flag up on the boards this time. Dylan Kinsey going to take heat race number 2. Scott Riom second. Barry Wallace coming home in 3rd in an absolute gaggle. Alex Pomerleau, Billy Roberts, Sam Bachman, Gary Sigelkow, Clay Christofferson gonna round out the field. And we're gonna get set for heat race number 3. Couple more of my fellow Canadians in this one, and a big dog on the front row as well as we get set for heat race number 3. Trevor Giroux, the Philly Flyer, on the pole alongside Dean Reynolds on the outside of row number 1. Row number 2, the young hot shoe Ryland Banks alongside Mike Brewer. Mike Weida and Jason Butterfield making up row number 3, and it's Jeff Barker alongside Shaggy Zach Chapman in row number 4. As we'll get set for this one, as you can see, Trevor Giroux right there on the front row in the 75, the 79 of Reynolds to his outside. Young hot shoe Ryland Banks in the 76, Mike Brewer in the 39 to the outside, Mike Weida in the 66, Jason Butterfield in the 93, Jeff Barker out there on the racetrack in car number 513, and Shaggy Zach Chapman in car number 72. 8 laps the distance here. Heat race number 3 in the 358 modifieds, getting set to roll here from Lucas Oil Speedway on night number 2 of Thursday Night Thunder here in the Coast to Coast Racing League. Once again, my name's Robert Hill Jr., joining you from Mountain Man Media. Glad to be on board with you here tonight. You also might know me as the voice of the Mohawk International Raceway in Hogansburg, New York, and the Cornwall Motor Speedway in Cornwall, Ontario, Canada. As we get set to come to the green flag this time, Giroux, Reynolds, Banks, and Brewer. That's your top 4 as the green flag's out. We're underway. Heat race number 3. The Philly Flyer high flying down the back straightaway for the first time as Dino going to take it up to the high side. Banks going to go down to the inside as here comes Reynolds taking a look down to the inside of Giroux as they work their way side by side into turn number one. Banks looking down to the inside of Reynolds as well as side by side for the race lead. Dean Reynolds with the advantage. He's going to clear ahead of Giroux as Giroux slides up now, going to take a peek through the middle. Not quite going to get there that time. And Giroux now to the inside of Reynolds. Down to the bottom side of Giroux goes Ryland Banks as Banks going to get the nose in there. Not quite able to get side by side that time as Trevor Giroux side by side with Dean Reynolds for the top spot as they work their way around, continuing to duke it out for that top spot. Bit of an overlay issue right there. We'll reset that one as Reynolds and Giroux duke it out for the top position. Mike Brewer using the high lane now. He's going to get himself side by side with Banks as the battle continues for the race lead. Wheel to wheel, door to door, neck and neck as they head down the back straightaway at the cross flags. 4 in, 4 to go. It's Trevor Giroux, your race leader, ahead of Dean Reynolds and Mike Brewer. That's your top three as they all clear Ryland Banks. Banks going to go into position number 4 as he gets the wheel down to the inside of Mike Brewer as they head down the front straightaway. Going to be just 3 laps coming to 2 this time. Trevor Giroux, Dean Reynolds, that's your top 2 as the popsicle sticks go in the air. 2 flags up, 2 laps to go for Trevor Giroux. The high flyer, the Philly Flyer, TG Trevor Giroux leading the way as he'll come to the white flag this time. 1 lap to go here in the first race of the evening in Thursday Night Thunder. Trevor Giroux going to head down the back straightaway for the final time and into turns number 3 and 4 where he'll see the checkered flag and take heat race number 3. Trevor Giroux, Dean Reynolds, Mike Brewer, Ryland Banks, Mike Weida, Jason Butterfield, Jeff Barker, and Shaggy Zach Chapman get to round out the field. That is heat race number 3 here in the Thursday Night Thunder. We're going to take a quick step aside, do a little bit of warm-up, let these drivers get some heat in those cars, feel them out, and we'll get set for the big dance here tonight. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
Chatham grabs the checkered flag. He wins.
Victories for Sam Bachman as he takes the win at the Port Royal Speedway.
Wins another one at the Knoxville Raceway. Blake Chapman wins.
A corner down here through the front straightaway. Watson gets the win here tonight.
Chad Greggs, a Knoxville Nationals champion. But to the checkered flag, Blake Christopherson, your winner at Lernerville. Here they come off of turn number 4. To the checkers, Templeton takes the win.
Through the back stretch into corners 3 and 4 out here. It's going to be Watson for the win.
The 56 wins. First time winner Randy Streets.
But your winner at Weed Sports is going to be Brandon Templeton in the Salty Dog.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome back here to the Coast to Coast Racing League. Getting set for the first race of the night here on Thursday Night Thunder. Let's go through the starting grid, leading them off on the pole, driving from that top spot. It's Kurt Schatzer into his outside. Dylan Kinsey going to start in position number 2. Trevor Giroux and Chad Lackey making up an all-Canadian at row number 2. Row number 3, Scotty Rayum alongside Dean Reynolds. Row 4, Brian Dickens and Barry Wallace. Row 5, Mike Brewer and William Watson. Row number 6, another all-Canadian line between Alex Pomerleau and Rylan Banks. Row number 7, Harold Klump alongside Billy D. Roberts. Row number 8, Mike Weida and Kelly Wheeler. Sam Bachman and Jason Butterfield making up row number 9. Row 10, Michael Vitale and Gary Sigelkow. Row 11, Jeff Barker and Adam Flieger. Clay Christopherson and Shaggy Zach Chapman bringing up the rear of the field. 24 cars getting set for tonight's A main here in the 358 modifieds. If you like the 358 modifieds, get set. Coming up here in just a couple of weeks, Super Dirt Week from the Oswego Speedway in New York. Going to be a great show. Of course, you'll see Dean Reynolds there as the director with Dirt Car, putting on a great time up there. I think I'll be stopping by on the Thursday portion before I come back up to Canada and get set for Canadian Super Dirt Weekend, which can be seen live on Flow Racing as we get set. Green flags out, 30 laps on the docket here as we jet off through turns number 1 and 2. Kurt Schatzer on the inside, Dylan Kinsey up on the outside as they battle it out for that top spot, working their way down through the front straightaway here to put 2 laps up on the boards. Looks like we may have had an issue towards the rear of the field. Zach Chapman off the pace in position number 23, but back up towards the front. Here comes Chad Lackey battling it out alongside Trevor Giroux for position number 3 as here comes Kinsey. Kinsey looks down to the inside of Schatzer, battles on for the top spot. Schatzer up top. Here comes Lackey looking his way up through the middle. Issues at the rear for Sam Bachman and Barry Wallace as the caution flag going to come out for the first time. Somebody might need Golden Valley Memorial Healthcare. Great work by the cameraman there, as we'll take a look and see what just happened to Barry Wallace to bring out the first caution of the evening. Watching Wallace in the 210 machine up along that outside wall. Sam Bachman right behind in the 007, but looks like it was contact with Jason Butterfield that kind of kicked that one off. A bunch of other cars going to get collected, and looks like a few of them going to work their way over to the pit area. So a little bit of early race carnage here. And by the way, I want to give a shout out to Shane Billings for providing us with that great coast to coast advertisement we saw during our earlier commercial break. Shane does some great work. If you want to get yourself a little bit of video production done, be sure to reach out to Shane Billings. He is a great member of Coast to Coast. You'll see him, I'm sure, later on this season. That guy works a busy schedule. You never know when he's going to be around. So Schatzer, Kinsey, Lackey, Giroux, Reynolds, your top 5. Then it's Rayom, Watson, Dickens, Brewer, and Banks, your top 10. As we'll come around this time and get set to go green once again here in the Coast to Coast Racing League. It's Thursday Night Thunder, brought to you by Full Throttle Motorsports and Regal Wraps and Designs. Of course, be sure to check out all the sponsors you see on your screen here tonight as we come to the green flag. We're back underway at lap number 4 here at the Lucas Oil Speedway. Schatzer and Kinsey duking it out for the top spot once again. As Kinsey takes a look down to the inside of Schatzer. Giroux up on the high side. He's got Scotty Riom coming through with him. Choo-choo coming through. Scotty's on the scene and ready to ride as he hops up to that high lane just behind Giroux. Chad Lackey down to the inside now. His battle for the top spot is a 5-car dance as you see Schatzer leading the way. Giroux up on the high side, up into position number 2. Kinsey in that third spot. Riom and Lackey, that's your top 5 as they work their way now down the back straightaway. Going to be coming to 24 laps to go. Issues towards the rear of the field for Harold Klump. He's going to keep it pointed in the right direction as the leader's closing in on him. The Philly Flyer flying high here tonight as Trevor Giroux goes up to that high lane, nearly brushing the outside wall as he works his way around this time. Side by side, new leader, it's Trevor Giroux. The 75 machine, Full Throttle Motorsports on the door and looking out the front. Giroux, nobody inside as he's going to get himself free and start to pull away. Schatzer in that second spot. Battle a little bit further back though. 3 wide up on the high side. Dean Reynolds, Billy Roberts there, William Watson as well as they're closing in on Brian Dickens and Chad Lackey just up the road. Reynolds has to hit the binders. That's going to give a bit of an advantage to Billy Roberts down on the bottom as they continue that battle side by side for position number 7. We're going to jump further up to Scotty Riom as he's side by side with Lackey, but further ahead of him, Dylan Kinsey going to go to the second spot with a slider. That's going to open the door for Schatzer down on the inside. As Kurt Schatzer running that bottom lane. Dylan Kinsey up on the high side, side by side as they work their way down the back straightaway. 20 laps to go, and the caution flag going to come out this time. Looks like it involves Sam Bachman. Bachman going to be involved in this one once again. Let's take a look and see what happened to bring out the caution with 19 laps to go here in the 358 Modifieds. Watching that 007 machine high on the racetrack. Drops down to the inside. Going to be a bit of contact that time from Adam Flieger. Sends Bachman around. Looks like everybody should be A-okay. So not too much to worry about there, but the caution flag going to come out nonetheless with 19 laps to go here in the first race of the night. Of course, we'll be back just after the 358s tonight with the Big Block Modified show. That, again, is a fixed setup, and drivers will have the choice between a Big Block or a 358 Modified, so they can continue running this car or change it up just a little bit and put in their Big Block. And then to conclude the night, we'll hand the reins over to Flieger Farm TV. Adam Flieger going to be on the broadcast for the Pro Late Models. That is also a fixed race right here from the Lucas Oil Speedway as the pace car going to make its way back to the pit area. That is quite a sketchy pit entrance right there into turn number 2. As the field going to head into turns number 3 and 4. We're going to hand it back over to Trevor Giroux and Kurt Schatzer as the field comes off turn number 4 this time. Giroux going to find the loud pedal. We're back underway. 19 laps to go here from the Lucas Oil Speedway. Giroux up on the high side. Riom side by side with Schatzer. Schatzer down on the bottom, trying to send himself deep through the corner. As Riom going to get the advantage up on the high side. Scotty Riom going to work his way up into position number 2. He's up 3 spots from the drop of that green flag. One driver to watch here that's really moved his way up through the field. Shaggy Zach Chapman just outside the top 10 now. Started right at the rear of the field. Has himself up just outside the top 10 now. As it's a little chaotic ahead of him. Dean Reynolds going to get clear of Mike Brewer as Brewer now tries to work his way forward. Chad Lackey falling back just a little bit as Brian Dickens up to the high side of him. Billy Roberts right there. Kurt Schatzer battling it out with Dylan Kinsey as they're wheel to wheel, nearly touching that time with 16 laps to go as Trevor Giroux out front and starting to pull away just a little bit. He's got just about a half second over second place Scotty Riom as Riom holds on to that second spot. Dylan Kinsey in position number 3. As a bit of contact a little bit further back that time between Dickens and Roberts, as Dickens going to slide up once again nearly into the side of Billy Roberts as they work their way down the straightaway. Chad Lackey right there with them as well as Schatzer slides up, opens the door that time for Dickens. Dickens going to take a look to the inside as Dylan Kinsey clears up into position number 3 as the caution flag will fly. Looks like Gary Sigelkow going to be involved, as well as Adam Flieger and Mike Weida. So Sigelkow was on his way out of the pit area, and he's going to pull out right in front of Adam Flieger. Collects as well Mike Weida. So these drivers, just innocent bystanders, getting caught by a driver that maybe didn't notice that he had a couple of competitors right there coming around the racetrack when he decided to make that turn back onto the racing surface. Shout out to everyone tuned in here tonight on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, a Mountain Man Media production here this evening for both the 358s and the big blocks tonight. You may see me behind the wheel in the Pro Late model a little bit later. We'll see. We'll see how that one goes. It's a race leader, Trevor Giroux, out front, the Full Throttle Motorsports number 75, leading the way. I know he's got quite a few fans watching this evening, so shout out to the Giroux fans tuned in this evening. And shout out to all of you. Be sure to drop into the YouTube chat. Let us know who you're cheering on tonight, where you're watching from as well. Be cool to see how far we stretch here in the Coast to Coast Racing League. As we come off turn number 4, green flags back out. Trevor Giroux going to find that loud pedal as he's going to work his way through turns number 1 and 2. Rayome going to fall back into the clutches of Dylan Kinsey as Kinsey in position number 3. Rayome takes a peek down to the inside of Giroux as Kinsey, Schatzer, Roberts, Dickens, Lackey, Reynolds, Watson, and Brewer. That's your top 10 here, coming around to 11 laps to go here in the first race of 3 tonight in Thursday Night Thunder. Trevor Giroux and Scotty Rayome lead the way as they're going to get set to come around to just 10 laps to go this time. Watching another few battles behind. Zach Chapman going to get turned about as he'll be facing the wrong direction. Can't park there, Shaggy, as we'll get the caution flag out. And we'll do this one again. Why not? 4th caution of the night. Watching Zach, he had a little bit of help from behind. Looks like the young hot shoe turned into young heavyfoot right there and gave a little bit of a boomer to Zach Chapman, sent him around, and the caution going to fly here with 10 laps to go. So for Trevor Giroux, he's just looking for an opportunity to get a bit of a run going. Not worry too much about the battles that are going to be happening behind him. If he can get 10 green flag laps in here towards the end, he'll be quite happy with this one. For everyone else, well, they might be wanting a couple more caution flags as they're all going to have to try to work their way forward as we wait for the lights to go off on the iRacing.com pace car. For the pace car driver doing a nice job here this evening. As the lights do go off on that iRacing.com pace car, you'll see him make a sharp right-hand turn now. Nearly crashes that car every time. What a great driver. He's got to teach drivers around here, man. They cannot do it, that's for sure. Giroux, Rayome, Kinsey, Schatzer, Roberts, the top 5. As the field works their way around once again, coming off a turn number 4. Down that front straightaway and setting sail. Trevor Giroux leads the way as he'll come through turns number 1 and 2. Headed down the back straightaway this time. Giroux, Rayome, Kinsey. That's your top 3 as they work their way around. 9 laps remaining here in the first race of the night. Rayome trying to close in, see what he can do. to get himself up there and into the fight. Scotty Riom going to drop down to the inside lane. We'll quickly take a peek here at him as he drops all the way down to the bottom. Giroux goes all the way up to the high side. Coming around to 7 to go this time. Battles on a little bit further back as well. Chad Lackey, Dean Reynolds going to make a little bit of contact. Reynolds up into the side of Lackey. Slides him up the racetrack. Move Reynolds into position number 7 as we'll focus back in just ahead. Things are getting sketchy right there. Billy Roberts going to get together and nearly sent up the track that time, but A-okay, as we're going to get set to come to just 5 laps to go here in the 358 modifieds. Issues for Sam Bachman as he's up into the outside wall. We'll get a caution with 6 laps to go. Watching that 007 right there, working his way down the front straightaway. He's going to have some contact from behind that time. That is the 213 of Michael Vitale. Going to get into the backside of Bachman. Sends him up into the outside wall, and we'll have to redo it all over again here with just 6 laps to go here at the Lucas Oil Speedway. Trevor Giroux, Scotty Riom, Dylan Kinsey, currently up there at the front of the field. Kurt Schatzer, Chad Lackey having himself a nice ascension up through the field. Dean Reynolds right there as well. Mike Brewer, William Watson, Billy D. Roberts, Kelly Wheeler up inside the top 10. Brian Dickens 11th, Clay Christopherson in 12th. Harold Klump 13th. 14th is Jeff Barker, the young hot shoe. Ryland Banks in position number 15. Adam Flieger 16th. Alex Pomerleau 17th. Michael Vitale and Sam Bachman around out those cars, still working their way in the right direction as the pace cars off. Already Scotty Riom, he's got the nose to the rear end of Trevor Giroux as they're going to set their way through turns number 3 and 4 and look to go green flag racing this time by. Coming to 5 to go here at Lucas Oil. Green flags out, 5 fingers in the air, and Trevor Giroux, he's going to set sail down the back straightaway and come around to put just 4 laps left up on the boards. Scotty Riom trying to hold off a hard-charging Dylan Kinsey as a little bit of net code just behind there. Kurt Schatzer and Chad Lackey battling it out. Dean Reynolds right up into the fight as well. As Giroux going to come around, he'll have just 3 laps to go here in race number 1 of the night in the Full Throttle Motorsports Dirt Modified Series. It's the Dirt Car 358 Modifieds coming around this time, getting set for some popsicles. Going to be 2 flags up, 2 laps to go this time. Trevor Giroux leads the way as he'll come around this time. Barney the flagman's got 2 pointed straight to the sky. Scott Riom in second as it's a 3-car dance. Make it 4 for position 3, 4, 5, and 6. Kinsey, Lackey, Schatzer, Reynolds right there as well as we've got the white flag in the air. 1 lap to go, just 3 corners left now for Trevor Giroux as he's going to work his way down the back straightaway through turns number 3 and 4 for the final time. He's going to come around and see the checkered flag. Trevor Giroux going to take the 358 modified. Scott Riom second. Dylan Kinsey going to round out the podium in third. Kurt Schatzer 4th, Chad Lackey in 5th. Dean Reynolds 6th, Mike Brewer 7th, Kelly Wheeler 8th, William Watson 9th, Clay Christopherson going to round out the top 10, but it's the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux, going to come around and lead the podium finish here tonight. Dean Reynolds going to come congratulate the drivers as well, as we'll take a quick look at tonight's feature race results. Of course, we went through your top 10. 11th was Brian Dickens, 12th Harold Klump, 13th Jeff Barker, 14th Ryland Banks, 15th is Billy Roberts, 16th Michael Vitale, 17th Adam Flieger, Alex Pomerleau in position number 18. The rest of the field is Sam Bachman 19th, Zach Chapman 20th, Jason Butterfield, Mike Huida, Gary Sigelkow, and Barry Wallace going to round out the field. We'll take a look over in the waiting room, and it looks like we do have our top 3 drivers. We'll kick it off here with Dylan Kinsey, tonight's 3rd place driver. Hey, Dylan, it's Robert up in the booth. You get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Good run there for you tonight, coming home just a little bit short in position number 3. What more did you need to do to get up there and take that top spot away from Trevor?
We needed to stop talking to each other and telling each other where the good lines were, honestly. I don't know, it was a couple, probably the 3rd to last caution whenever I passed Kurt, I was in the middle and I told them guys, I said, the middle's working right now. I just passed Kurt. And then that's when Scott and Trevor went to the middle. So, and then, then I had to go on defense for a while with Kurt and I think it was Lackey coming right at the end, the last 2 restarts. The last 2 restarts were track got slick for me, so I was, not like struggling, but I lost a little bit of speed, so I was, definitely on defense the last 2 restarts.
Well, looking ahead to the next race, are we going 358 or big block for that one?
Big block for me. It's always big block. I more comfortable in one, and I seem to run better in one, even though you have to have a lot more throttle control. But I'm usually better, so right now I'm 2 for 2 on the box, so we'll see if we can keep it going for the week.
See what we can do, Dylan. Before we let you go, any shout-outs or sponsors you want to thank here?
Oh, yeah, all the guys at FTM, Dean Reynolds at Super Dirt Car, Gunner at Swan Speed Shop, Vertex Graphics, you, Robert, for the broadcast, Regal Wraps for sponsorship, and everyone at Coast to Coast that makes it happen.
That's Dylan Kinsey, your 3rd place driver. Best of luck in the big block race, sir.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Now we'll have a quick word with Scott Riom. Scott, you came home 2nd here tonight. Do you think you would have had something with a couple more laps there?
Oh, I don't really know. He was, of course, we're in the same Discord. We were joking around a lot and laughing, and we knew where each other was going to go. And I was pretty quick with him a few times. Had a few opportunities, but it's a teammate, and I love Trevor, so I wasn't going to do anything too crazy there. But it was a lot of fun. It was the most fun I've had on here in a long time, when not having to worry about guys that get into you or whatever. So it was a lot of fun.
Well, looking ahead to the next race coming up here in just a couple minutes, the big block, small block race. What kind of notes can you take from this opening race here tonight and put into play for that one, and maybe work your way up just another step on the podium?
There's not a whole lot you can really take, because the track's not going to get as many laps on it before we start it. So I don't know if anybody's going to actually take a 358. I'm going big block, and pretty much just see how the track wears in and go where the tack is. Hope for the best.
Well, definitely a good plan there. Let's hear about those sponsors and shout-outs.
I got to thank everybody over at, obviously, FTM, Dean, Super Dirt Car, Gunner at Swan Speed Shop. He's really been working hard to get us the dig. Expert Insulation, Hi Mom Lens, Shaggy TV, obviously you for coming aboard. It's great to hear your voice, man. I'm so happy that first week that you're doing this, and I get to go talk to the guy that announces at Frogtown. I mean, how cool is that, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Best of luck in the next race, my friend. Hope to be talking to you soon.
Thanks, bud.
That's Scott Riom, your 2nd place finisher here tonight. Now, Trevor, you said you wanted to talk to me after this one. You got it done. Walk us through that one, and how good does it feel to start the night off with a win?
Pretty good, man. It was a good track tonight. Kind of felt up front, at least felt really racy. I mean, the top was there for a bit, and then I'd say like maybe 10, 15 to go, the middle came in, and the bottom was there too. But I don't know. I think just after I kind of got into the flat stuff up top, I kind of just, I don't know. I wasn't really comfortable up there anymore. I'm sure it was still quick, but just had to kind of just not play defense, but just be a little more conservative and just hit my marks and run through the bottom middle there, just keeping the car super straight and keeping the momentum up through the corners. But overall, man, it was a good track. I was just telling the guys, like, I like this place a lot. I'm usually like not the greatest here, but learned a few things tonight that we'll take into the next race here and see how it goes.
Well, I asked those guys what they need to do to beat you in that next race. I'm going to ask you a different question here. Who do you think is going to be the biggest player that you're going to have to contend with to take 2 on the night?
I don't know, man. Like Scotty was right there, man. Like he was fast. I think he was probably, I don't know. I figured something out with like 5 to go, but I think before that he was probably faster. And then once I figured out how to run the bottom there with like 5 to go after that last restart, we were probably pretty even. So, I mean, I think it's gonna be Scotty, man. Like, I mean, Kurt showed some good speed, and then Chad found the bottom there at the end, and then like, yeah, there's gonna be a few guys here tonight, but it's definitely gonna make for some good racing.
Well, final one before we let you go here. Any sponsors you want to thank or shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, for sure. First and foremost, my mom and dad were watching tonight, so pretty cool, man, to get a win on for the race they watched. So shout out to mom and dad for watching, and obviously all the guys at FTM. It's pretty cool for us to go 1, 2, 3 here tonight to start off the night, and obviously everyone on board my car, Big Tim Race Wraps, RSN Trackside, Castleberry Flex on Expert Installation, Dean Reynolds with the Super Dirt Car Series, everyone at C2C for putting this stuff on for us, and you, Robert, for broadcasting this stuff for us, man. It's pretty cool. Everyone enjoyed your broadcast from a few months ago, so I'm looking forward to watching this stuff back.
Well, my friend, thanks for the comments. Best of luck to you in the next one. I'm sure we'll be talking again here shortly.
I hope so, man. Thank you.
All right, best of luck. That's Trevor Drew, your race winner in race number 1 of Thursday Night Thunder. We're going to step aside real quick, work our way over to the big block, small block race, which, as you heard from a couple guys, we think it might be primarily big blocks here tonight, which will be quite the show, but we'll be back here in just a couple minutes on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
As Gavin Chatham grabs the checkered flag, he wins.
Back victories for Sam Bachman as he takes the win at the Port Royal Speedway.
Wins another one at the Knoxville Raceway. Blake Chapman wins.
A corner down here through the front straightaway. Watson gets the win here tonight.
Chad Greggs, on Knoxville Nationals champion! But to the checkered flag, Clay Christopherson, your winner at Lernerville. Here they come off of turn number 4. To the checkers, Templeton takes the win.
Through the back stretch into corners 3 and 4 out here. It's going to be Watson for the win.
The 56 wins! First time winner Randy Streets!
But your winner at Weed Sports is going to be Brandon Templeton in the Salty Dog.
And welcome back here to the Lucas Oil Speedway as we're taking a look out on the racetrack. Qualifying underway here in this one. Just under a minute and 20 left to go in the qualifying session as we take a look at the current leader in this one, Billy D. Roberts. By the way, everybody in the field has opted to go with the big block for this one, as Dylan Kinsey out on the racetrack putting his laps in. That one going to come to an end. Dean Reynolds finishing up his lap. William Watson just getting underway in the 23 machine. We'll keep an eye on him as he goes position number 2. Alex Pomerleau just wrapping up his session here in this one. Sam Bachman going to go 7th quickest. The only driver not to take a timed lap here is Clay Christopherson, and he is not currently out on the racetrack. Chad Lackey, a late entrant to this one, just coming in now. We'll see if he gets himself a lap on the boards, but looks like that will just about do it for qualifying. 16, now 15 seconds to go in this session here from the Lucas Oil Speedway. You can see a completely different looking racetrack compared to what we had earlier on. As was mentioned, not a lot of laps put onto this surface here prior to tonight's big block showdown, as that will do it for qualifying. We're going to get set here in just a moment for the first of our heat races. I believe we're going to have just 2 heat races here in this one. Sam Bachman going to be on the pole alongside Jeff Barker. It's Mike Brewer and Brandon Templeton in row number 2. Dean Reynolds and Harold Klump going to make up row 3. Row 4, Scott Rayome, the runner-up in race number 1 of the night, going to start in 7th alongside Jason Butterfield. And Clay Christopherson going to round out the field in position number 9. So the field going to get underway here in just a moment. Again, I do believe 8 laps the distance for these ones. So much of the same as the first race of the night. Once again, my name is Robert Hill Jr. here from Mountain Man Media. Glad to have you on board with us tonight on the Coast to Coast Racing Network for Thursday Night Thunder from Lucas Oil Speedway here in Wheatland, US of A. This is a 3rd mile oval, all made of clay. And for those curious here tonight as well, current temperature 66 degrees Fahrenheit. So on the colder side of things this evening. I was about to say afternoon, but well, I guess it's afternoon somewhere. Definitely not here. It is dark. As we'll get set to go green in this one. Pace car, he's long gone. Sam Bachman, Jeff Barker, Brandon Templeton, Mike Brewer going to come around, and they'll see the green flag as we are underway here in heat race number 1 in the big blocks, as we've got issues at the rear of the field. Harold Klump going to push up into the outside wall, as he'll fall all the way to the rear of the field. Out front, though, Sam Bachman leading the charge here over Jeff Barker. Mike Brewer right there as well, as that's Brewer in the 39 machine down on the bottom. Up top in the blue and yellow, beautiful ride. That is Jeff Barker. Brandon Templeton in the bright and dark kind of combo there, the number 31 machine. Currently holding on to position number 4 is Clay Christopherson. He's on the charge in that Days of Thunder lookalike machine, the Full Throttle Motorsports number 51 entry. He started himself a little bit further back in the field as we got 5 laps to go here in this one. Issues out front, though. I want to take a quick look back at that one. Actually, no, we'll stay up front as Bachman hit the binders, it looked like, for a second. That's going to allow Mike Brewer to get up here and battle it out for the top spot, as Brewer takes a look down to the inside of Bachman as they work their way down the back straightaway through turns number 3 and 4. Sam Bachman and Brandon Templeton are right there as we'll come around this time. Actually, correction, that was the front straightaway, as we work our way now back towards that front stretch. And the popsicle sticks, going to be 2 flags up, 2 laps to go for Mike Brewer. He's brewing himself up a good run here in this one as he heads down the back stretch. Going to be looking for the white flag this time. Templeton second, Bachman in third, Barker, Christopherson, Reynolds, Butterfield, Rayome, and Klump bringing up the rear of the field as we come around this time for the final time down the back straightaway through turns number 3 and 4. He's going to be looking for the checkered flag. It's Mike Brewer. Brewer going to take the top spot. Templeton second, Bachman third, Barker and Christopherson the top 5. Reynolds, Butterfield, Rayome, and Klump rounding out the field here in heat race number 1. Getting set for the second of our 2 heat races here this evening. Michael Vitale on the pole alongside Dylan Kinsey. Row number 2, Billy Roberts and William Watson. Row 3, Kelly Wheeler alongside race number 1 winner Trevor Giroux. Row number 4, Alex Pomerleau alongside Adam Flieger and Chad Lackey going to round out the field. That is your 9-car field, 8 laps the distance here in the big block modifieds. Shout out to everyone tuned in here tonight. I know I got some people watching. A couple of them watching while currently on a little bit of a road trip. Shout out to you. Is Kinsey and Vitale getting set to go green this time. Watson, Robert, Giroux, Wheeler, Flieger, Pomerleau, and Lackey. That is the field. 8 laps the distance. Heat race number 2 at Lucas Oil Speedway is getting set to get underway this time by as the field navigates their way through turns number 3 and 4. Coming off of 4 this time, Vitali gonna get set. He'll find the loud pedal. He sets sail, and we're underway here in heat race number 2. Vitali gonna clear up ahead of Dylan Kinsey. Kinsey in that second spot. Roberts into position number 3 as he's got Watson up on the high side. William Watson, we watched him in qualifying a little bit earlier on, looked relatively smooth as Chad Lackey battles it out with Adam Flieger and Alex Pomerleau as Pomerleau holding on to position number 7. Trevor Giroux, race 1 winner, gonna look down to the inside that time of Kelly Wheeler as Wheeler up on that high side. Giroux all the way down on the bottom, running a couple feet off of those big tractor tires down on the inside lane as we'll get set to come to 5 to go this time. Vitali leading the way in the 213 machine. He's got a hard charging 639 to Dylan Kinsey right behind him. William Watson started in that 4th spot, currently sitting in position number 3 is Billy Roberts and Trevor Giroux now into the top 5 as the field going to work their way around at the cross flags this time. It's 4 in, 4 to go. Coming to 3 to go this upcoming time by for Michael Vitali as he's going to work his way through turns number 3 and 4 this time. Coming around, going to be 3 fingers to the air, 3 laps to go for Mike Vitali as Vitali going to head down the backstretch looking for popsicle sticks. Battles on behind him as Watson takes a look to the inside of Kinsey. Kinsey had himself a good run going earlier on in that 358 modified race. Looking to go a little bit further here tonight as they'll come around. It's a lap and a half to go this time for Michael Vitali as he'll round turns number 3 and 4 this time. White flags in the air. Barney the flagman waving the surrender flag as Vitali comes around down the back straightaway for the final time through turns number 3 and 4. He's going to be looking for the checkered flag. He knocks down that door, gets it done in heat race number 2. Vitali, your winner. Kinsey second. Watson going to come home third. Roberts fourth. Fifth is Giroux. Wheeler, Pomerleau, Lackey, and Flieger going to round out the field. That will do it for heat racing action here tonight from the Lucas Oil Speedway, as we'll step aside from the racing action for just a couple of moments. Get set here in just a second for tonight's big block modified heat race. Just a reminder, of course, coming up a little bit later this evening, we will have the Pro Late Models on hand here at the Lucas Oil Speedway. That's going to be Adam Flieger on the call for that one with Flieger Farm TV. Is I'll step aside and give you the sights and sounds of practice, or warm-up, I should say, here at the Lucas Oil Speedway. Big block modifieds coming up in just a couple of moments. And warm-up just about completed here. We're going to get set for tonight's starting grid. As they're starting to roll out onto the racetrack, let's introduce you to tonight's 18-car field for the big block modifieds. Lead them off on the pole. It's Mike Brewer alongside Mike Vitale on the front row. Brandon Templeton and Dylan Kinsey going to make up row number 2. Sam Bachman and William Watson in row 3. Jeff Barker and Billy Roberts in row number 4. Clay Christopherson, Trevor Giroux making up row 5. Row 6 is Dean Reynolds alongside Kelly Wheeler. Row 7 here tonight is where you'll find Jason Butterfield and Alex Pomerleau. Scott Rayome, Chad Lackey making up row number 8. Row 9, Harold Klump and Adam Flieger. 18 cars, 30 laps the distance here in the big blocks. Once again, the drivers did have the option if they wanted to. They could have come out here in a 358 modified. That would have been more what you're comfortable in. These guys all opting to go with a little bit more pep in their step here tonight with the big blocks. And I can't say I blame them. You always want a little bit more power to cruise your way around these racetracks. As again, Mike Brewer going to start alongside Michael Vitale on row number 1. Both drivers, very strong performances earlier on in the heat races. And that's going to start them off rather strong here tonight in the feature. As the field going to work their way around turn number 4 this time, you can see they've hammered down. Green flags out. We're underway here in the big blocks. And issues already. Mike Brewer didn't get going, and they're going to stack up big behind. Multiple drivers going to get picked up in this one, but looks like we will potentially stay green as Chad Lackey backwards on the racetrack. We're going to get a caution flag out. And we're going to go all the way back to the initial start here where Mike Brewer did not get going on the drop of the flag. And this is going to lead to a whole mess of chaos. As the field comes off of turn number 4, green flag's going to drop right here. Vitale gets going. Brewer gets going. He's going to hit the tire. That's what's going to happen right there. Mike Brewer going to hit the tire. You're going to see multiple drivers get picked up in this one. Chad Lackey at this point has already been picked up in an incident as he's going to get collected. You can see the 11 machine right there of Kelly Wheeler. Scotty Rayome going to go up into the outside fence. Lackey going to get together with Wheeler once again. That sends Chad around, and the caution flag will fly as he's pointed in the wrong direction on the racetrack. And unfortunately for the field, not what they were hoping for on the initial start. Unfortunate for Mike Brewer, where he ended up just getting the tire. And if you collect those tractor tires, they're not very nice. They're not going to send you a Christmas card. They're not going to send you anything but a headache. And that's exactly what just happened right there to Mike Brewer and the rest of the field. And it's a domino effect. One guy goes and all of a sudden he's no longer going. Well, chances are somebody in the remaining 17 cars is not going to be going either. And unfortunately for Chad Lackey and company, that is exactly what happened on the racetrack. As we got the 1 to green up on the screen. Brandon Templeton, he's on the bottom ready to dig as green flags out. We're underway here once again at Lucas Oil. Is Mike Vitale going to lead through turns number 3 and 4 here on that first lap of green flag racing? We'll come around, put lap number 4 up on the boards. We're going to jump back here real quickly as Trevor Giroux trying to ascend up through the field. He's jumped a little bit all over the racetrack here in this one. Sam Bachman, a driver that did not have luck on his side in the first one of the night. Templeton, he's going to have issues. That right front not looking good. Somebody else just lost a wheel as well, as the caution flag going to come out once again, folks. Not the start these guys were looking for here in this big block modified challenge. As taking a look at Templeton on the bottom, that's the 31 machine, the black and neon entry, as he's going to go deep. Yeah, there goes that tire. That is Brandon's tire that went for a bit of a ride. It's going to get picked up top. Trevor Giroux does a nice job avoiding Chad Lackey. Nowhere to go, but he may have gotten lucky right there with a little bit of net code. Let's go ahead and hop on board with Lackey and see what exactly Chad's seeing in this instance. Is right up in front of him, working his way around Chad Lackey. He's going to head through the corner. You can see Templeton just nailed that tire up there. Lackey coming around, big mud bog, blocking that race car just a little bit, gets into him. Jason Butterfield, he went for a bit of a fly as well, as I believe he has taken a pit side in the 93 machine. So Butters not having the run he was hoping for here in this one, as we'll hand it back over to Michael Vitale and Dylan Kinsey as they're going to get set to go green. Two drivers that did work their way pit side, Jason Butterfield and Brandon Templeton. Butters has rejoined. Templeton has not. As the field comes down the front straightaway, green flags out here on lap number 5 in, 25 to go. As Vitale going to lead the way down the back straightaway for the first time. We've got Kinsey and Roberts battling it out just behind him. Sam Bachman right there as well. William Watson, Jeff Barker. Beautiful ride for Dean Reynolds. That thing is shiny here tonight. You could find him in the darkest room in the world. That thing would still find a way to reflect some sort of light. As Vitale heads down the back stretch, down the front stretch now. Kinsey, Roberts, William Watson, I should say, and Sam Bachman up inside that top 5. As a couple drivers on the move. Scott Riome, he started deep in the field, has taken advantage of a couple of others' misfortunes here. Now has himself up into position number 7, looking for a little bit more as he closes in on Reynolds in car number 79. Brandon Templeton has rejoined the field. He is 1 lap down. Flieger finds himself a bit to the rear of your race leaders as battles on for the top spot, working his way up to the high side that time. Goes Dylan Kinsey as Kinsey trying to get up there on Michael Vitale. Vitale on the bottom. Kinsey up on that high side. Billy Roberts into position number 3. Watson and Bachman right there as well. Reynolds closing in, as is Riome and Giroux. As issues for Jeff Barker, he's going to step up and off the racing surface. He'll get going once again in car number 513 as we'll pick this battle up for the top spot once again here at the Lucas Oil Speedway. Vitale trying to navigate his way through as the field works the way down that backstretch once again. 19 laps to go, coming to 18 this time. Kinsey and Vitale, that's your top 2. Couple other battles throughout the field. We're going to jump back to this one between Jason Butterfield and Alex Pomerleau. That is for positions 11 and 12 right now out on this racing surface. So even though they're not in the top 10, battles still continuing all throughout. Another one right here, Scott Riome trying to hold off Clay Christopherson as Christopherson closes in on the back of Riome. Now takes a look down to the inside as they'll work their way down the front straightaway. 17 laps to go. Your race leader continues to be Dylan Kinsey as Riome continues to trade paint and position with Clay Christopherson. That Days of Thunder look-alike machine down on the bottom, trying to get by that pesky number 4 of Scotty Riome as they work the way around. This time coming to 15 to go out front. Dylan Kinsey, he separated himself from Vitale as Vitale now has a couple advanced partners behind him in Roberts, Watson, and Bachman. And even Dean Reynolds not too far out of the picture as well as they continue to navigate their way up inside that top 5. You see Reynolds right there. Trevor Giroux working his way around now as well. He'll get those rear tires all the way up to that outside lane, looking for a little bit of bite. Not too much of that so far for Giroux as he's up in a position number 7. Biggest mover of the race so far, though, right behind him. That is Scotty Riome in car number 4. Scott currently holding on to that 8th position. Started back in 15th, so +7 on the day. Chad Lackey, another driver on the way forward, currently sitting in position number 10. He started back in 16th. Currently working his way closer and closer to that fight as we've got a good fight right here. William Watson up into position number 2. Where did he come from? That 23 machine now has Vitali on his inside as they work their way once again back around. Watson to the bottom, Vitali up top, down the back straightaway they go. As here they come down the front stretch, 10 laps to go. Dylan Kinsey, Michael Vitali, William Watson, that's your top 3. Bachman and Roberts up inside the top 10. Bit of a shuffle here from what we saw earlier on this evening in that 358 modified adventure. And it's good to see a couple other drivers getting up here in this fight. Vitali, he's been up inside the top 3 from the drop of the green flag. He would love an opportunity to get up there and battle it out with that of Dylan Kinsey, but the opportunity just has not been there as of yet. As Kinsey works his way once again, puts another lap up on the boards, coming to just 7 to go this time. He's got nobody near him whatsoever. Almost 1.8 seconds separating first place Kinsey from second place Vitali. And for Vitali, he's got Watson on the inside of him. Bachman right there as well, as Sam Bachman takes a peek to the high side, not able to get by Vitali, so he'll drop down to the inside lane as they work their way once again around, coming to 5 to go this time. Dylan Kinsey heads down the back straightaway, going to be working his way through turns number 3 and 4. Barney the flag man going to get his hands out of his pockets, 5 fingers in the air. 5 laps to go in the big block modified extravaganza here from the Lucas Oil Speedway. Dylan Kinsey driving the 639 machine for Full Throttle Motorsports. He's going to lead the way. They had a podium sweep in race number 1, looking to do it again here in race number 2, but Mike Vitali trying to break that trend as he works his way in position number 4, trying to get back by Sam Bachman. As Bachman up top, he's holding on to position number 3 as we'll come around this upcoming time by. Going to be 2 flags up, 2 laps to go this upcoming time by for Dylan Kinsey. Dylan Kinsey, the Full Throttle Motorsports Super Dirt Car Series number 639, heads his way around once again down the backstretch, coming into turns number 3 and 4. He's going to see the white blanket this time. White flags in the air. 1 lap to go for Dylan Kinsey. William Watson crosses in that second spot. He's closed the gap quite a bit, but I don't think he's going to have enough time as we work our way through turns number 3 and 4 for the final time. Coming on to turn number 4, checkered flag, he gets it done. Dylan Kinsey going to take the big blocks. Watson second, Bachman third, Trevor Giroux going to come home in 4th, top 4 for Full Throttle Motorsports. Mike Vitali 5th, Dean Reynolds 6th, Scott Rayom 7th, Billy Roberts 8th, Clay Christopherson and Chad Lackey round out the top 10. 11th here tonight is going to go to Kelly Wheeler. Wheeler going to come home 11th. 12th is Alex Pomerleau. 13th, Harold Klump. 14th, Jeff Barker. 15th, Jason Butterfield. 16th, Brandon Templeton. 17th, Mike Brewer. 18th is Adam Flieger. So we'll get a word here in just a moment with your top 3 finishers: Kinsey, Watson, and Bachman. So strong run here tonight for the Full Throttle Motorsports team, as once again getting her done here tonight. One driver I'm definitely impressed with is that of William Watson. We watched him a little bit in qualifying and in the warm-up session. Looked very strong, looked very, very good here tonight, and he was able to get a strong podium finish. As looks like we do have our top 3 finishers. We'll get started with Sam Bachman. Hey, Sam, it's Robert up in the booth. You get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Big 3rd place finish for you here tonight. Started in the 5th spot. Able to work your way back up and grab yourself a podium finish. Walk us through that race, and what more do you need to maybe work your way up 2 more steps on the podium here tonight?
I mean, we probably could have used a caution. I feel like, DK was kind of out there a little bit, so it would have been hard to get him in the remaining laps after I got Vitali or whatever, or by him or whatever. But track felt pretty racy all night. I was having a little frame droppage for some reason. It was making a little everything glitchy. So I mean, that was a little normal. That probably could have helped a little bit too.
Now, looking at the 358 race earlier, luck was definitely not on your side in that one. How good does it feel to have a nice bounce back race here in race number 2?
Oh, it feels pretty good, to be honest. I mean, I was telling the guys I don't see me making it out of this race. I mean, the tires love me here, and I usually hit them. So, but lucky I didn't hit one, and I could keep the car on the track and keep her straight.
Well, tell us about the sponsors, the team, the people that get it done for you each week.
All the boys over at FTM, Gunnar at Swan Speed Shop. He's really been working hard on the dig. Dean over at Super Dark Car Series, Expert Installation, Vertex Graphics, Shaggy TV, obviously you, Robert, for doing the broadcast for us, and Coast to Coast.
Well, congrats on the podium finish, and best of luck if you are taking part in the Pro Late Model race.
I won't be there tonight, but thank you.
That's Sam Bachman, your third place finisher tonight from Lucas Oil. We're going to get set to have a word here with William Watson. William, you came home in position number 2. Walk us through that one here tonight. It was a very strong run for the 23 car.
Yeah, it was tough. I broke right in them tires. I lost position. Had to fight back. I was just biding my time, really. Just holding my line and then trying to stay off everybody. I got into Billy a couple of times, and I mean, I think that was a little checkup deals, but you just had to find the line right there towards the end. I got around the outside of Vitali, and he showed me that the middle was quicker, so I dove down to below him, and he gave it to me, so I was able to pull away from that. Wish I wouldn't have had to deal with as much traffic. Could have gave a little better race up there in the front with Kelly, but it was a good race all around.
Well, we had a really long green flag run to end that one. How nice is it as a driver to be able to put that rhythm together and just let your cars do the talking?
I mean, it feels great. I mean, we run together all the time. So I mean, practice, seat time, you're gonna get it. It's gonna come around. You really got to deal with all that. After that, it's just dealing with everybody around you. So.
Well, tell us about the sponsors, the team, the people that support you every time you're on the track.
Yeah, of course, FTM. We are here running with each other. We push each other hard every week. Congratulate each other. That's one of the big things I like about this team is that when somebody does good, everybody jumps on board and says congratulations and everything. Swan Speed Shops, Duper Performance, Griphex.com, Dean at Dirt Car Series, Vortex Graphics for the Wraps, Shaggy TV, Coast to Coast, and you for broadcast.
Well, congrats on a strong run here tonight. We'll see what you can do next week. Back again in Thursday Night Thunder. Good job here tonight.
I appreciate it.
It's William Watson, your runner-up this evening, and we're going to get set to talk to our race winner, Dylan Kinsey. Dylan, you were able to move up that podium, get it done here in the big blocks. Walk us through that one.
Yeah, I seen the bottom kind of went away after the heats, and I knew the top was going to be it for a while. And right before that first caution, I was running the top on Vitali, and I gained a lot of ground. I pretty much pulled up on the side of him in 1 and 2, and it was a ton of grip. So, and then the caution came out, and then, he got a good jump on the restart. So I had to, get my momentum back going again up top, and then I just stuck with it and got around him. And I knew the top was I was kind of hoping too, and it worked out, but I was hoping the top was gonna stay good for the rest of the race, and it did. But it's a good thing that race wasn't another 5 laps because Sam and Watson were coming hard. Even if it was longer, I knew I was going to have to move down a little bit. That top was going away pretty quick. The left rear was riding in the slick too much, and I was starting to lose some drive off.
Well, it seems like this big block car suits your style a little bit better than the 358. What is it about this car that you really like?
I don't know. It's so weird. Most people are the other way. They do better in a 358 because all you have to do in a 358 is just keep the momentum up. You don't really spin that much. In a big block, you can spin really easily, and I really don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because maybe it's a little heavier or something. I really don't know. It's just this is the way it's been for me all the time, and to be honest, I'm not really a high side type of guy. I started out running the bottom, and I still like the bottom, but if it's not there, it's not there. And you know, I'm starting to really come around up top. I used to pick on Dean because I would always call it the Dino lane up top because that's all he ever ran. But now I'm starting to find myself up there a lot more. And, you know, that's 2 wins and a third for the week for me and modifieds. And two of those podiums was 358. And Monday night I was, you know, running up high just like tonight. So I don't know. It's just I just like the big blocks for some reason.
Well, you found some momentum here tonight, got it done in the big block. Why don't you tell us about your sponsors, the supporters, everyone that's behind you each and every time you're on the track?
Yeah, I just got to thank all the guys at FTM. Honestly, I wouldn't have this speed if it wasn't for them. You know, all the coaching and just working together all the time, set up tweaks and open stuff, and you know, just some pointers and fix stuff because there is a big difference. You know, I got to give up to all those guys. I got to thank Dean Reynolds at Super Dirt Car, Gunnar Swan Speed Shop, Vertex Graphics, obviously FTM for the sponsorship tonight, you for the broadcast, and everyone at Coast to Coast that makes it happen.
Well, Dylan, congrats on the victory. Looking forward to seeing what you can do next week once again here in Thursday Night Thunder. Congratulations.
Thanks, Robert.
That's your feature winner, Dylan Kinsey, here tonight, folks. That'll just about do it for the modified portion of the night. We're going to get set to hand it over here in just a moment to our friend Adam Flieger over at Flieger Farm TV. But on behalf of all of us here at the Coast to Coast Racing Network, my name's Robert Hill Jr. with Mountain Man Media. Thanks for joining us, and don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Pro Late Models live from Lucas Oil.
Gavin Chatham grabs the checkered flag. He wins.
Back victories for Sam Bachman as he takes the win at the Port Royal Speedway.
Wins another one at the Knoxville Raceway. Blake Chapman wins.
A corner down here through the front straightaway. Watson gets the win here tonight.
Chad Greggs, Knoxville Nationals champion. But to the checkered flag, Clay Christopherson, your winner at Lernerville. Here they come off in turn number 4. To the checkers, Templeton takes the win.
Through the back stretch into corners 3 and 4 out here. It's going to be Watson for the win.
The 56 wins. First time winner Randy Streets.
But your winner at Weed Sports is going to be Brandon Templeton in the Salty Dog.
Good. Alrighty, thanks, Robert. You did a great job.
these dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. In the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, we're here from Lucas Oil here with the Pro Late Models tonight. You watched me down on track there in the modifieds. Didn't do too well as I was at the back the whole time, and then Internet decided, no, you're not racing no more, so I just plumb disappeared out of the big block race. Good to be here, though, back up here in the booth. And I couldn't find the speed to compete with these guys down there on track. Watson there in 7th. Fastest out here in practice right now, as we soon will be to the there with the start of the race, or qualifying rather. We're getting ready to switch that up right now. Hey, driver, get set to rock and roll here tonight. From Lucas Oil for the Pro Late Models. Great job there by the... I want to give a shout out there to Robert. Thank you for coming aboard. And hopefully we have a great season here, and you enjoy your time in the booth here at Coast to Coast, as I know I have, and a few others have along the way as well. We got the 122, Brian Dickens out there going through turn 1 and 2 right now. Down through the back straightaway, getting his lap time in. Trevor Garou out there along with Brandon Templeton out there on track as well. See how these drivers stack up here. I see Dickens come in with a 14.433 for the moment. Garou now with a 14.133. Riom with a 14.244. Dean Reynolds lays down a 14.248. Watson comes out with a 13.904. We see these drivers out here putting on a show. There is Jeff Barker. There's Bat Boyce. Kurt Schatzer out here putting down a lap. And they're coming down through off there in the corner number 1. Qualifying ending here for your heat race here tonight. Well, we're going to have Scott Riome out there in front with Brian Dickens there second. Trevor Garou starting tonight in third and at number 75. William Watson will start outside row number 2 and number 23 there in 4th. Row number 3 inside in 5th. That's going to be starting Jeff Barker in that 513. Dean Reynolds is outside there in the number 79. There in row number 4, it's going to be Dylan Kinsey there out in 7th in car 639. Kurt Schatzer in 8th with a 218. And that 5th row on the inside, Pat Boyce with that car number 41 starting in 9th with Brandon Templeton starting 10th. Car number 31 rounds out your field of 10 drivers here tonight. Yeah, get everything set to rock and roll here. We got our grid up here. Oh, of course you're going to do that to me. Let's see if we can. We didn't get the grid up there for you yet. Let's see if we can get it back here. We'll see. Okay. For those that might have not caught it, here is your grid for tonight. You see them coming there off the corner. And we went through the grid, as we said. Scott Riome, starting pole. Brian Dickens, second. Trevor Garou, third. William Watson, fourth. Jeff Barker, fifth. Dean Reynolds, there, sixth. Kinsey, seventh. Schatzer, 8. Boyce, there, 9th. Brandon Templeton rounds out your field of 10 here in heat number 1. And that is your only heat for the Pro Late models here tonight. Hey, driver, work around turn number 3 and 4. Getting set to rock and roll. Here we go. Off the corner, down through the front straightaway, and into corner number 1 they go. Side by side, Riome down there on the bottom side, slides it up right on the nose of the 122. That's going to stack him up a little bit. Riome now into the outside wall. Dickens down there gets below him in that 122. The 23 there, William Watson comes down, gets the nose there caught up a little bit by Scott Riome, and then we're going down here out of corner number 2, back down into corner number 3 and 4. 7 laps to go here in heat number 1. Pat Boyce back here in 7, Jeff Barker in 8, Dean Reynolds back here in 9th with Dylan Kinsey rolling out of here. He's missing the front end of his machine. Down here through off of corner number 2. Brian Dickens sitting second right now, right behind that 75T of Trevor Garou as they work down here in the corner number 1. Scott Riome in 3rd. William Watson there 4th. Kurt Schatzer in 5th as they work on down out of the corner. In the corner number 3 and 4, you got the 218 there. It's Kurt Schatzer rolling there in 5th as they head here off. 4 laps to go as they head through turn number 1. Dickens right there at the back bumper of Trevor Garou. Down there through off of turn number 3 and 4. Hey, out there down off the corner. And everybody's looking great here. In the corner number 3 and 4 they go. Watson there in 3rd. Scott Riome goes around there in 4th. I think Brandon Templeton got into him going through the corner. 2 laps to go. Trevor Garou out there going down the backstretch. In the lead, Brian Dickens there in 2nd. William Watson there in 3rd. Kurt Schatzer in 4th with Pat Boyce there in 5th. Dean Reynolds there in 6th. And bring it on down here out of the corner. You see that 75T. And Brian Dickens there in the 122 coming there off the corner. Garou will get the win here in the Pro Late models heading there down the backstretch. So here we go, during warm-ups here tonight. We'll be back here at the track in just a moment. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
these dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. In the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, we're back here at the Speedway. Hopefully everybody hears us okay as we get set and ready to rock here for your grid here tonight. Brought to you by RSN Trackside. Trevor Carew will start there on pole. Brian Dickens there second. William Watson there third. Kurt Schatzer fourth. Pat Boyce will start fifth here tonight. Dean Reynolds there in sixth. Dylan Kinsey there in seventh. Scott Rione there in 8th, Brandon Templeton in 9th, Jeff Barker rounds out in 10th there. $30 laps the distance here tonight for this Thursday night Thunder. Heading here off the corner, we got one more lap till green. With Dickens and Guru on your front row. Guru, your control car, there on the inside. All right, bring it on down through the back stretch here tonight. Who's it gonna be? Now we got 30 laps to fight it out. Off the corner they go, down the front straightaway. Green flag is in the air. And down here in the corner, number 1 and 2, there they go. Off through into the corner. Trevor Carew up there to the high side. He's going to keep it going. You see Dickens up here at the top. He guys to get around the 23. Watson did a great job getting up here in the second on the start of the race. Down the backstretch here in the corner, number 3 and 4, the 75T. Trevor Carew out there in front. Pat Boyce back here hanging on to it as you see them all battle for positions. That 639, Dylan Kinsey back there on the inside of the 218 of Kurt Schatzer and Dean Reynolds working to his outside. Down there through turn 3 and 4, heading back off here down the straightaway. Brandon Templeton there in 9th, Jeff Barker there in 10th. And down here in the corner, number 1 and 2, Trevor Carew there in front. With Watson and Dickens trying to chase him down as here they go, 2 wide. There with Pat Boyce. Dean Reynolds not out there, hang on to it. Pat Boyce getting a little loose there. Same with the 218 of Schatzer. And there's the 639, Dylan Kinsey trying to rotate it down there along the bottom side. Doing a good job. He had issues in the heat race. Templeton is out of this one. And they drop down there through turn 3 and 4. Back out there onto the front straightaway. Watson out there second. Dean Brian Dickens, their third. Dean Reynolds fourth. Scott Rione, their fifth. Kurt Schatzer in sixth. And they bring it on down here out of the corner. Great job there. As you see, Guru out there. William Watson second. Brian Dickens their third. Dean Reynolds here in fourth with Scott Rione fifth. There goes Guru down that back straightaway, and everybody's kind of single filed out now around the racetrack. Not really finding any battles here. As you see, Trevor Guru down there on the inside is William Watson trying to gain something to get up there to battle with Guru. Can't quite make it happen yet, though. They roll down there through turn 3 and 4. 22 laps to go. Down through the back, or down through the front straightaway. Brian Dickens their third. Dean Reynolds fourth. Scott Rione their fifth. Kurt Schatzer sixth. Down there through off the corner into the corner number 3 and 4 goes Guru. He comes up across the line. You're watching Dickens there come out of 4. Watson there in second, still trying to find a way to chase down Guru, who's running out there in front. Down there off the corner. Watson there second. Dickens there in third. Watson there in second. Dickens there third. Reynolds there fourth. Rione sitting back here in that 444. Rolling down there in about fifth. Like we said, only 10 drivers made the grid here tonight. Barger back here in ninth. Templeton, he's back out there on track. Unfortunately, a lap or so down. Now we see Rione trying to get around Reynolds. And he gets up there to the high side. 17 laps to go as Reynolds scoots it up the racetrack. That's going to allow Rione to get underneath him. Rione now gets up there in the fourth spot. Up there you see Dickens there in third. Watson there in second. Guru out there getting the win so far tonight. And down here, out of the corner they go. Watson in a second. Dickens there third. Hop off here through turn 1 and 2. Watson still continues to roll there in second. Scott Rione still battles back here with Dean Reynolds. Dean Reynolds got back around him. Kurt Schatzer now down there in that 218. He's looking to see if he can get up there to the 444 of Rione. But he's got company sneaking in behind him. That's the 639. Templeton up there into the outside wall. Coming there off turn 4. He's going to tote back to the pits. They head on out through turn 1 and 2. Watson there in second. Caution flag is out. So it'll stack them up here with 12 to go. Guru looks like he might choose the top side. We'll see here. Off corner number 4, green flag in the air. They're down on the way. 11 laps to go here for Trevor Guru. Up as he's up there on the high side. Watson trying to get up there. Here comes Dean Reynolds. They're in the third. He's found some way to make some ground up there in the third spot. Watson there in second. Guru out there in front. Kurt Schatzer back here in fifth with Pat Boyce now in sixth. As Scott Riom is falling back here into seventh. Down there off the corner they go. Trevor Guru's up there in front. Watson there second. Dean Reynolds there in third. Brian Dickens there fourth. Kurt Schatzer there fifth. Pat Boyce there in sixth. Scott Riom back here in seventh. 8 laps to go for Guru and Watson. Whoa, Watson, hang on. He scoots it up the racetrack, up there onto that ledge here at Lucas Oil. Down there in corner number 3 and 4. Reynolds dives down there. He's going to get that spot for the moment, but Watson's going to take it back down here in the corner number 1. He's going to slide it down in and not quite get there. Reynolds getting a run off the top side down here through turn 3 and 4. Reynolds on the high side. Here comes Watson parking it on the nose of Reynolds. Watson there in a second. Now here comes Reynolds down there to the inside. He's going to bring it up. He's going to slide it up. Here comes Watson back down there to the inside. He'll scoot it on down in there. Up here off the corner. Working there through turn 1 and 2. Down there through the backstretch now. William Watson there in the third. Reynolds is up there in the second. Trevor Guru out there in front. You see them all storm off through here. Down through the front stretch. 3 laps to go here for the Pro Late Models at Lucas Oil. And you see Watson still trying to gain on the leader here. Or Watson's trying to gain on Reynolds. Trevor Guru down across the stripe. It is now 1 to go, or should be 1 to go. Unless I'm mistaken. Come down here out of turn number 4. Is this checkered flag here? Or no, this is final lap. Okay. Come down there off corner number 3 and 4 down here across the stripe. Trevor Guru getting the win. Brian Dickens there in second. William Watson there in third with Dean Reynolds there fourth. Great run here by the drivers tonight. They head on down out here through the corner. Oh, here's your finishing results from the track tonight. It's going to be Trevor Guru getting the win. Brian Dickens there second. William Watson there third. Dean Reynolds fourth. Kurt Schatzer there fifth. Dylan Kinsey there sixth. Jeff Barker there seventh. Scott Riom there eighth. Pat Boyce there in ninth. Brandon Templeton there in 10th. And that will be your finishing order. Now we'll get with our, try to get with our winners here. We'll get with William Watson, our third place finisher. Good evening there, William. How's it going?
I'm good, but how about you?
Oh, it's going okay. How do the Pro Late Models feel?
I felt good until I stepped on it there and went off the track. I regathered it, and then I had to fight with Dean there. Something weird happened right there in the last lap. We touched, and then some kind of net cut happened because we barely touched, and it threw him off the track. So I was coming back into one there. I thought I was sliding him back. Then I look up and it's Brian coming in front of me, so I was like, what happened there? But yeah, he went back and watched it. It was net code. It was a fun little race. I wish I didn't go off the track right there because me and Trevor would have for sure put on a show. Battling for first.
Yeah, it seems like you battled that shelf a little bit here tonight.
Yeah. I guess it was I stayed on the throttle a little too long going into the corner because when you do that, the car likes to push sideways, and it was just enough for it to drop off. Once it did, I let it completely out and straightened it back out and got back on it. So I did it twice, actually. I tried to catch back up, and then the second time I just dropped the tire or felt it, caught it quick enough, and was able to get back on it.
Well, you did a great job getting third place tonight, and I'm not sure exactly how you did in the big blocks tonight. I know I was down on track with them tonight.
You finished second.
Well, it sounds like you had a good night of race. You got sponsors, shout-outs, anybody want to thank for your third place finish here in the Pro Late Models?
Yeah, teammates at FTM, Swan Speed Shop, Super Performance, GripX.com, Dirt Car Series, Shaggy TV, Coast to Coast, and you for broadcasting.
Our pleasure, and can't wait to see what next week will hold here. So great job there tonight, getting third place, and hopefully you can continue this momentum through the season.
Yeah, I hope so.
You have yourself a great night there, William.
You too, bud.
All right, William Watson, our third place finisher. Now we'll get with Brian Dickens. Good evening, Brian. How's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing really good here now that everything seems to be working okay. Or did I speak too soon? Nope, it looks like everything's working good. So,
All right.
Great job tonight. You got second. I'm not sure exactly how that happened. Apparently something happened the last lap.
Well, I saw them kind of like getting over the edge and like getting into each other. So, and I missed them a couple times. So I said, last two laps, I'm just gonna go to the bottom because hopefully I miss them if they mess up.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened. I know Watson was flirting with danger with that shelf a few times there coming to the ending of the race.
Yeah, I just got lucky. That's all.
Right place, right time then.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Great job. That car looked great out there. You got sponsors, shout out to anybody you want to thank for getting second place tonight?
Yeah, got to thank Dirt Track Bank, everything they do for us and everybody in Dirt Track Racing all together. Hammerdale Racing, we got Joe, Kurt, Brandon, and Mike Wida. Thank Mike for doing paint jobs on the slate model and the modified have been running. It looks really sharp. Thanks for that. Thank you for doing the broadcast. Everybody at C2C and Trevor on the win. He was rolling, buddy.
And he was. He definitely had a hooked up tonight.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
So, alrighty there, Brian. You have your. Hopefully, we'll see you next week with the big blocks and Pro Late Models again. There was a lot of great racing out there tonight.
Yes, sir. Look forward to seeing you next week.
Alrighty, great job, and have yourself a wonderful night.
You too.
All right, Brian Dickens. Now we'll get with Trevor Guru. Good evening, Trevor. How's it going?
Good. How about you?
It's going really well. Now, I was at the back of the 358s in the big blocks. I don't know how the front was going. Were you at the front all during those two?
I won the 358 race, and then big blocks, I think I kind of qualified pretty bad, and then I think I finished 4th or 5th in those.
Alrighty, alright. So nobody's been able to pull a sweep off here as of lately.
Yeah, man, like I said before, it's tough. Like, I think it's the second time, in the last, couple seasons where I'm just one race off, and, I mean, it's tough, man. Like, only a handful of guys, a small handful of guys have done it. Like, you gotta be perfect for 3 races. It's tough to do.
Not to mention, you're driving 3 different cars in a sense.
Yeah, I know, you really are. Like, even, the big blocks to the 358s, it's really different. Like, obviously in the big block, you got a lot more power to contain, so.
Oh, most definitely. From what I was understanding, whenever I was looking at displacements, like cubic inch-wise, between 358s and big blocks when I was doing my paint job, deciding, what type of motor I wanted to label on the car. I was reading, and it's usually about a 360 crate engine that's in or a 360 cubic inch motor in a 358 modified. And then in your big blocks, it is 400. They can have up to 470. And I'm hearing something about maybe a rule change to where they might go to 480 on the cubic inch on the big blocks.
Yeah, that's an incredible power jump there for sure.
I mean, you're talking at least 100 cubic inch between the two cars.
Yeah, I mean it's like going from a 604 crate late model to like a super late model. Like you're talking about like 400 or 500 horsepower difference there. Like it's significant for sure.
Oh, most definitely. And that's what you were saying. Yeah, you're driving modifieds, but they're not the same at all when it comes to power and what type of grip you can get out of them.
No, definitely not. Like at least with the big blocks, you're almost similar power-wise to these things, but even then, I still think the big block just has a little more power than the Pro Lates.
They very well may. I mean, but the whole setups and the way the cars rotate and everything, they're completely different between modified to Pro Late model.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's way different. Like you're really not driving any of the three cars the same. At least I don't. But I mean, some people will say like, "Oh, I'll just drive these like a big block." I'm a lot harder on these cars than I am a big block. I feel like a big block you kind of have to be a little more, like technical. Whereas these, I just drive the hell out of them.
Not giving away too many secrets with that statement. Just drive the hell out of it.
Yeah, really, that's really it. I'm hard on these things and it works. So.
Well, you did a great job getting that 75T there for FTM out there to the win tonight in the big blocks. Or, I mean, in the Pro Late models here. What am I thinking? In the Pro Late models, you did a great job. Car looks great. You got sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank for getting victory here tonight?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Just got to, first and foremost, thank my mom and dad for tuning in tonight. Got 2 wins on the night for them, so appreciate mom and dad for tuning in, and hopefully they'll catch some more streams in the future. But obviously, all the guys at FTM, great showing for us all night. Super happy, that we had a really good showing tonight here, and looking forward to next week already. So, but got to thank everyone on this car, man. Big Tim Race Wraps for the wrap, RSN Trackside, Expert Installation, Castleberry Flagstone, Swan Speed Shop, Dean Reynolds with the Super Dirt Car Series. There's a ton. Shaggy TV. Obviously, you, Fleeter, man, we appreciate you sponsoring this stuff and keeping this stuff broadcasted for us. I like going back and watching, so thank you for that. We appreciate it. Thanks, everyone at C2C, and special shout-out to my wife for letting me do this stuff, several times a week. So shout-out to her, and, yeah.
Alrighty, well, congrats. And and for me to compete in them big blocks in the 358s, I might need to find myself a coach.
Hey, there's a few out there.
And
No, I'm kidding.
I mean, because you guys were just pulling away from me tonight. It's like, I don't see.
Yeah, actually, I know there's like legitimate pro drivers who do it. I'm sure it's not cheap, but for
I'm sure it's not.
No, probably not.
But great job there tonight, and we'll see how well it goes and plays out throughout the rest here as we go into next week. Carry the momentum and see how it goes.
Yes, sir. Just hoping to stay consistent and be there at the end for a championship.
Alrighty, well, you have yourself a great, wonderful night, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Fleeger.
All right, that was Trevor Garou, our winner here tonight in the Pro Late Models. And we're going to get ready to send it off here. Thank you all for watching here at Coast to Coast Racing Network and watching the Pro Late Models over at Fleeger Farm TV. We will catch you later on. Thanks again for watching.